What happens if a bullet fired into the air falls back down onto someone? This question might seem like it's straight out of a Wild West movie, but it's actually a real-world problem that's steeped in science. Now, you might think that a bullet, once fired into the sky, simply vanishes or drifts harmlessly back to Earth. But let's dispel that myth right now. Bullets don't just disappear into thin air, they must come back down, obeying the fundamental law of gravity. But here's where it gets interesting. The impact of a falling bullet isn't just about it coming back down, it's about how fast and at what angle it descends. That's where the concept of terminal velocity comes into play. This is the highest speed a bullet, or any object for that matter, can reach while falling through the air. So it's not as simple as what goes up must come down, there's a whole science behind it. Diving into the physics of a falling bullet, there are a few key factors to consider. Picture this: a bullet, shaped and sized just as you'd expect, released from a height. What influences the impact it makes when it hits the ground? Three main elements come into play: the bullet's mass, its shape, and the height from which it falls. Firstly, let's talk about mass. Just like any object, a bullet's mass directly influences the force it exerts when it impacts. The heavier the bullet, the greater the force it will exert upon landing. Next up, we have the shape of the bullet. You might think, it's just a small piece of metal, how much could shape matter? Well, it matters a lot. The shape of a bullet is designed to minimize air resistance, allowing it to maintain a higher speed as it falls. This streamlined shape, combined with its mass, is what makes a bullet potentially dangerous even when falling. The third and final factor we need to consider is the height from which the bullet falls. The higher the bullet is dropped from, the more time it has to accelerate due to gravity, and the faster it will be traveling when it hits the ground. These three factors contribute to what we call the bullet's terminal velocity, the maximum constant speed the bullet can reach as it falls. Now, this may surprise you, but a falling bullet's terminal velocity is significantly less than the speed of a bullet fired from a gun. This is due to the forces acting on the bullet. When fired, the bullet is propelled at high speed, but when dropped, it's only gravity doing the work. So when we put all these factors together, we see that a falling bullet can indeed be dangerous. The higher the height and the heavier the bullet, the greater the impact. But there's more to it. Let's explore. Now, what does all this mean for a person on the receiving end of a falling bullet? Let's unpack this a bit. The human body, as resilient as it is not designed to withstand the impact of a bullet, falling or otherwise. Imagine this. You're out enjoying a clear, starry night when suddenly you feel a sharp, piercing pain. That's a falling bullet for you. The impact could be as mild as a small bruise or as severe as a puncture wound, depending on where it hits. For instance, a hit to the shoulder might only result in a surface injury, whereas a hit to the head or chest could be life-threatening. Also, a person's physical condition plays a vital role. A more robust individual may endure the impact better than someone more fragile. It's akin to comparing the effects of stubbing your toe versus dropping a heavy object on your foot. The effects could range from a minor injury to something far more serious, depending on a variety of factors. So, what's the takeaway from all this, you might ask? Well, it's quite simple, really. It's all about responsibility and understanding the potential dangers that come with firing bullets into the air. You see, every action has an equal and opposite reaction, and that's not just a saying, it's a fundamental law of physics. When a bullet is fired into the sky, it doesn't just disappear, it must come down, and when it does, it carries with it a force that can cause serious harm. We've taken you through the mystery of a falling bullet, the physics behind it, and its potential human impact. And the key point that echoes throughout is this: treat firearms with respect. They're not toys, they're powerful tools that can have unforeseen consequences if misused. Remember, a falling bullet has the potential to cause serious harm. So next time you hear someone say that what goes up must come down, you'll know there's a whole science behind it.